Welcome to the Colorado. Did I mess that up? Let's go again. Welcome to the Colorado Scoop, the CU Scoop. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. All right, guys, this is going to be a recruiting update. I'm looking at the screen so I can see myself. I'm in a bit of a different environment. I'm at the scouting combine for the NFL. I'll be going to check out the wide receivers from Colorado run in a minute. Got to see some of my guys from Georgia run. So very exciting time. But I did want to give you guys a recruiting update. The reason I'm doing this whole update is because of the visit that has been scheduled by Sedarian Morgan, one of the top wide receivers in the class, the number 17 player overall in the class. Some people think he's the top wide receiver overall. Him visiting Colorado is a big deal. 5-star composite. He's a guy that you sometimes you see guys like this and they say, okay, well, I'm gonna visit, and it seems like it won't happen, it won't work. All right, there are some things that I was able to find out about Morgan, which makes me feel like Colorado is going to have more than a puncher's chance. First of all, his family. His mom and grandmom are really, really interested in finding out what Coach Prime has to say when they get out to Colorado. He trains with Madhouse in Montgomery, Alabama. He's from Alexander City. He trains with Madhouse, where Anquan Barnes also trains. They don't have a relationship, from what I understand, but he does have a relationship with Madhouse, and they have great relationships with Corey Phillips and Coach Box, to my understanding. They are okay with sending guys to Colorado. And one thing about Madhouse, if they don't feel like you're right, they're not going to give you the word to say, no, okay, you can recruit here or you can recruit one of our kids. They have a great relationship with Colorado. I think that what the quarterback position does this year is going to have an impact on what Sedarian does. But I think getting that, he made this fit. And that's another thing. The quarterback position, when we talk about wide receiver and when we talk about guys who don't have a lot of time for visits, CD Morgan is one. Literally, as the Colorado staff continued to push for his visit, the first thing was, well, I already got all my visits. He gets to talking to his family, talking to advisors, and they say, you know what? We're going to make this happen. We want to see it. And from what I understand from the Colorado side, they said, listen, don't come out here, if you don't think you want to come. We won't waste our time. We don't want to waste yours. We know you got a lot going on. And the family, the Morgan family, was like, no, we want to see it. And there was some pleasantries exchanged as far as the respect level that they have for Coach Prime and what he's building. So I'm not going to say that this is like a slam dunk or anything, but I will say this. This is one of those recruitments that if I was still doing my old job where I had to go make predictions on multiple players, this is one that I would say, okay, mark this in a watch closely file. So what I want to do is go down the other visits that are scheduled. So we know that so Friday, May 9th through the 11th, you got Sedarian Morgan coming. That's big. And I want to give a shout out to Buff Stampede and 247sports.com, the way that the site is set up, where it's easy to go see these things. And shout out to Adam, man, because my videos usually, sometimes when I go check it out, they'll have some of my videos posted on the board, and Adam could easily delete it or be like, nah, man, I don't go watch that. But they leave it up, and they primarily speak respectfully of me. So I want to give them a shout out too. So make sure y'all go shout out Buff Stampede. All right, let's talk about Johnny Jones out of Tampa, Florida, 6'6", 310 pounds. He's a guy that people say if he ever puts it all together, he could be that dominant bookend left tackle. Right now, he profiles more as a right tackle based on his aggression. Former basketball player, so he has good feet, but a guy that you want to see get developed. Now, we say, oh, you want to see everybody develop, but if he was more technical at this same point in his career, he would probably be a 5-star. When I say this is an offensive line coach's dream, for someone who has over 80-inch wingspan, someone who's played good competition, someone who has the athleticism to score double digits basketball as a freshman, someone who has visits scheduled across the SEC. It's going to be hard to get him out of Florida. But I think Colorado got in early enough to where they're going to be a player in this recruitment. And what more to sell than when you come in your freshman year having a chance to play opposite of a guy like Jordan Seaton. Now, mind you, I do think that there's some development that would have to that has to happen there. But he's a guy who can help you early just based off his athletic gifts. Push you in the mind of Carday Smith, maybe heavier than Carday was at this point in his career, definitely heavier. But when you talk about the raw athleticism, that's the guy he puts you in the mind of. He is scheduled to visit April 5th. Yep. So out of Berkeley Prep, the number 10 offensive tackle in the nation, someone who I think that if you land him, he only helps your team as far as offensive line recruiting goes, and another big body. But right now, I think he profiles more as a right tackle. Let's talk about Jace Matthews, the other wide receiver who's scheduled to visit. He'll be visiting with Sedarian Morgan. Right now, he's a 3-star / 4-star, 6'1", but he's really 6'2". Some people think he's 6'3". But when you talk about a guy who shot up the boards, was relatively unknown out of Leakesville, Mississippi. When you talk about someone a track guy whose talent in track comes from explosion. Runs the 200 really well. He's got visits, and he's got visits set up to Miami, Texas A&M, Auburn, Ole Miss. Of course, Auburn is I cover very closely. They're high on him right now. I would say he's probably the second or third wide receiver on their board. They already have Devin Carter, who's a former 5-star, who looks to get back into that 5-star range. So I think Jace Matthews is someone that you're absolutely ecstatic if you can get him in the field. And when I say explosion, he's when you talk about the long jump, 20 feet on the long jump. I mean, crazy. So for someone that has the size that you're looking for, 6'2", 180 pounds, has the explosion, has a production called 70 balls for 1,200 yards last year. And he's also a kick returner, which is near and dear to Coach Prime's heart. So when you look at the visits he has set up, Colorado, Ole Miss, Auburn, Texas A&M. So you want to get out, you want to make a good impression early. I think I mentioned Miami as well. You want to get out, you want to make a good impression early, and being the first, you can kind of shift his mind potentially about what he thinks. So I don't have a ton of inside information. I just wanted to speak to what the industry is saying about him. And this is a very small list. And you're going to see as we talk about these players there, and this is all the list of players that Colorado has that have already scheduled visits to Colorado. The consistent theme here is ready to play bodies. When I look at the profiles and I look at each and every one of these players, these are all guys who can come in and play tomorrow. Another guy who fits that profile is someone who 24/7 doesn't even have rank. But when I tell you they will, I mean it. It's a guy by the name of Kayvon Conceiero, Houston County, Georgia. Same high school as Antoine Hill, who was committed to the Buffaloes last year. 6'3", right around 200 pounds. When I tell you the guy can go, he can absolutely go. I got a phone call about him earlier in the year. Somebody from the University of Georgia asked me if I knew anything about him. I said, all I know is he can go. Literally, Georgia offers, Tech offers, Florida State offers. It just blows up. Not because of me. I'm not saying, and I don't want to phrase that wrong where it sounds like, oh, they called me and he blew up. No, what I'm saying is when schools start to do their due diligence, they start calling around. You can kind of tell the guys who are going to get to that next level. He's one of those guys. So by Colorado getting in on him early, him being very receptive. I think that's one of those things that you want to watch. So that's one of the ones where you don't follow the stars. Kayvon Concierto is an absolute baller, and we got plenty of them where I'm from in Georgia. This dude is a guy. So being able to get him on campus, I think is huge. Another 6'3", 200-pound receiver. Common theme, ready to play guys. Speaking of ready to play, this next guy, 1,000% ready to play. He visits June 17th, Isaiah Williams out of Tavares, Florida. When you talk about one of the most explosive linebackers in the class, he can play running back in the pinch. 6'1", maybe 6'1.5", somewhere in there. Right now, he's 215. His frame looks like he can carry 235 easily. The thing is, this kid is probably right now 4'5", 40, 4'6", 40, somewhere in the 4'5", 4'6" today as an 18, 17, 18-year-old. This kid has the potential to run a 4.4. Very explosive athlete. Anybody who talks about this kid, Isaiah Williams, the first thing you think about is explosion. He's a guy that brings, you get all 215 every time he hits you. As you see his hips start to unlock with the techniques that he'll learn on the next level, this is a guy who could be in that top 2, top 3 linebacker at the combine. Like right now I'm at the combine, he's the kid that you want to come to the combine at linebacker. He's going to be able to do all the drills. He's going to impress you on the bench press. He's going to impress you when he runs the 40. This is one of those kids who's a combine kid who can also play on the field. So Isaiah Williams is someone who I think you really have to be excited about coming. When you talk about his official visits, he has, and this one is interesting because he has Colorado in the middle. He goes to Georgia May 30th, Alabama June 6th, Florida June 13th, Colorado June 17th, and Florida State June 20th. I think Colorado has a real shot here as well. And when you look, and I think now, when previously, Colorado was looking to add players based upon need. Now they're adding players or offering players based on want. So for him to have one that they want him, shout out to Coach Hart. This is a guy who's at the top of their board. They want guys who are fast and physical, who can fly around, who can also are not liabilities when it comes to man coverage. This is a kid that you would love to get in the fold. And last but not least, Friday, June 20th, Rodney Colton Jr., 6'1", 220, 220 now. Lil Rodney, we call him Lil Rodney. He's from Newnan, Georgia, not far from Atlanta. Every school in the metro area tried to get this kid to leave Newnan. He's been that guy since he was in 9th grade. There was a time where people thought that he was going to get maybe 6'3", 6'4". That never came. Had it been that, if he had that length, he's basically a 5-star. I'm going to tell you who this kid is. This kid is London Merritt all over again, except for he plays stand-up backer. The same thing, they discounted the way that London Merritt played football because he didn't get to that 6'5". When I tell you London Merritt is going to make people pay for that this year, believe me. Same thing with Rodney Colton. Yeah, he's not going to be a 5-star. He's going to be mind you, solid 4-star, right? Solid 4-star. Run, hit, cover, catch, flip his hips, rush the passer. Whatever you need him to do, he can do. One of the most highly regarded guys in his class, and a very special class right now. When you look at top 100 in the state, in the country, 14 are from Georgia. Rodney Colton is very highly regarded in this class. Another guy who helps you out when it comes to recruiting, as he's gained the respect of his peers from youth ball. So another impressive official visit for Colorado to garner, and I know personally that there are schools that he's turned down for that slot. His official visits are more sporadic. Right now he has his June 20th, but he already has like fall visits scheduled. So I think Rodney Colton is someone that you're going to see visit multiple times, but getting him in the fold early, I'm really expecting a special linebacker class this year. This is a great linebacker class, and I think that Colorado is going to get their share. A guy also visiting on who's visiting on June 20th is Oscar Rios. Out of Downey, California, went to Downey High. Not very familiar with Oscar. But what I will say is this: he comes from the same schools as Aiden Childs, the 3-year starter there. He's a guy who has dual mobility. He is basically like, this kid reminds me of, if you were to take Shedeur Sanders and mix him with Caden Salter, that's what you get from Oscar Rios. So you're not going to get the full athletic ability of a Caden Salter, right? But you're going to get more mobility than you got out of Shedeur Sanders. You're not going to get the accuracy and the throwing acumen that you'll get from Shedeur, but you'll get more than you would get from Caden Salter. This guy's a true 4-star. Looks like he's going to stay on the West Coast. This would be a huge get. Of course, you're going to get more quarterbacks on campus, but for him to be the first quarterback to get on campus, I think it's a win for Colorado. You want to get in there early, stay in there early. Plenty of and continue to set up that Cali to Colorado pipeline. But he's another guy, 6'3", 180 pounds, that you feel like can help you immediately. So, man, that's my time for today. Once again, I want to give a shout out to Buff Stampede for the support. Shout out to Adam. And shout out, make sure you check out the shows on the channel. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Leave me, get in the comments. Anybody, if there's a recruit you want to talk about, a recruit that you want me to dig into, drop it in the comments, and should I let you know what I can find out. But in the meantime, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DukeSteveScoop. I'm going to go down. Matter of fact, I'm late to the combine. I'm about to go over here and watch the boys run. When I see it, and when I find out what happens, you guys will be the first to know. All right, man. Peace out.